Hello and welcome to today's video. Today's video is a live stream for Let's Make a Monster live stream. So, on my Let's Make a Monster live streams, I like to sculpt a little monster with viewer input. Now, on the viewer input, I want to know what you want to see for how many eyes, what kind of teeth, what kind of horns, or should he have horns, or she have horns. So I'm going to start off with a basic shape. Now, last couple of times I've done this, Cool Milk wanted me to make a drippy monster, and I didn't have the colors out that I wanted to use for that. So this time I thought I would make a drippy monster, but everything else will be decided by today's viewers. Hi, Dree. I'm waving like you can, well, I mean, you can see me here, but I'm waving at the chat. I'm a little weird. So we're gonna make a drippy monster today. Hi, Brandy. Now I'm thinking I've got a basic shape in mind, and I'm gonna use some brown Primo Sculpey for the base, and then I have this mixture. It's kind of a weird green, but I mixed some blue, yellow, and some pearl in there. Hi, Claire. Hi, Myra. It's great to see you guys all on the live stream today. So I'm going to get started. So first question, I want to have like a bigger head for this monster so I can add some more details into it. But I want to know how many legs should it have. Should it just be like a two-legged monster that's kind of standing upright? Should it be, a four-legged monster, kind of like this guy that I did on my first live stream? Or what, whatever you guys come up with. Hi, Rebecca. Man, I'm going to mess it up again. Is it Quijin? Claire's Crafty Corner says 3 legs. Kujin. Dree says if it's too stable, I'd go with 2. Dree says it can begin to be 3. And Kujin, I am good. Myra says 3, so let's do 3. That's quite a few for 3. Like I said, I'm going to do a brown for the base. And hopefully Cool Milk joins us today, since this was their suggestion. But if not, it'll be there on my channel for anybody to re-watch that doesn't make it onto the live stream. So if I do it 3-legged, should it have like feet, like humanoid feet, elephant type trunks, like these? I did hooves on Clover last time. Claire says this is such a cool live, so interactive. Thank you. I know I'm not the one who came up with doing stuff like this, but I thought it was a lot of fun. My favorite thing on YouTube is interacting, and you get that a lot more with the live streams. I mean, I can't do all of my content this way, but I thought a little monster, it took about an hour, would be perfect for that. Rebecca says, like lion paws. Hi, Delaney. So let's go ahead. I rolled out kind of a thicker snake to do for the legs. And now I'm going to section that off. Look like little Tootsie Rolls. So we have like that. So I'm not for sure how we're going to do lion paws, but I'm going to try to do that basic shape. I'm thinking, do the base shape of the foot with maybe like 3 little toes in there. Dree says, I agree, Claire. It makes me happy when we're all connecting from what I guess is around the world, especially in these times. I won't mention that again. Thanks, Dree. Claire says, I've never done a live, but I watch a lot, and there's definitely not as interactive. Ah, well, and you guys will also notice too, instead of just responding to the chat, I try to reread it because I watch a lot of YouTube on like my smart TV or my PlayStation, and those don't show the chat. So I don't want to just like say, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea," without the viewers watching it later or on those devices not being able to know what that's about. Claire's Crafty Corner also says, totally Dree, hope you're all safe. Won't mention either. Kujin says, I like the idea of 3 toes. All right, 3 legs, 3 toes. That's what it's going to be. So, getting my little feetsies. And just going to shape out this last one here. Dree says 3 eyes and 3 ears. All right. So I've got my feet shaped out here. I've got my legs. Brandy says, now I want a Tootsie Roll. Yeah, that's what they look like. I'm like, arr. Hujin says, third that idea. Claire's Crafty Corner says, kidding, of course. All right, so we're gonna get the foil ball covered. I indented it here. I don't know if I really explained that. I thought I might do an open mouth on this one since I've done closed mouth on the other two, and that way I could use one of the tongues here. So we'll wait till we get to that. So I'm just going to soften this up a little bit more. Claire's Crafty Store's Corner says, what's a Tootsie Roll? It's like a soft, chewy piece of candy that looks almost identical to this. You can get them in big pieces, but these are like the minis. They're delicious, and they're like a chewy candy. It's not like a caramel, but it's, you know, not a hard candy. And they also have vanilla ones sometimes too. Dree, I don't know what that is. She says, to me they look like salmiak drops. Oh, it's a Dutch licorice. Yeah. I don't like black licorice, but I like red. Hujin asks, what's type of clay brand? It is Primo Sculpey. So Sculpey makes Primo and Sculpey 3 and Super Sculpey. I found the Primo, it's a little more expensive than Sculpey 3, but it's a little more durable. And I feel when it's baked, the clay has a better finish to it. I always felt like when I did stuff with Sculpey 3, I had to gloss it or it would just look too dull. Rebecca says vanilla Tootsie Rolls are the best. I love them. Vanilla and the chocolate ones mixed together too are really good. Brandy says black licorice is nasty. I agree, but if other people like it, that's their choice. Dree says you wouldn't like it. Probably it's an acquired taste. Yeah, probably not then. So I'm just getting this shaped. Like I said, I want that's where I want the mouth to be. And kind of indent that a little bit. So I'm going to get these little legs on there. Should we go 2 in the back and 1 in the front? That's what I'm going to go with. And I can kind of angle these. I was going to do him, Drew's asking, is he sitting? I was going to do him standing, but I could do him sitting. What would you guys prefer, standing or sitting? I thought about standing, and I could do like a tripod type. Kujin says sitting. So we're going with either standing or sitting. We need 1 more sitting. The lane says sitting, so we're going to go with sitting. All right, let's see if I can figure out sitting here. You guys are going to challenge me. Claire says, "Oh, standing, you'll see the three legs clearly. Oops, too late. LOL." Yeah, it's not. I take viewer input, but I don't necessarily, go with the votes. Like, it's kind of what I see the most of at first. Bird's Blood says, "I have no idea why I'm subscribed to you, but I'm not complaining." Thank you. Because I make fun little monsters. That's why. Crescent Sunblaze says, "Been a while since I last joined the stream. How are you, Andrew? I hope you're doing well." I am doing great. The world is pretty scary right now, but I am doing good. So I'm trying to figure out where, like, I've got these two legs like here, like he's sitting, but I don't want him to look inappropriate with his third leg. So I'm trying to figure out, do I have it off to the side? I'll wait for the chat to catch up. Kind of like that. I think that'll work. Claire's Crafty Corner was thinking, not there. I know, I totally agree. I mean, my channel's not rated for kids, like you pick not for kids, but I don't want to be totally inappropriate either. Crescent Sunblaze says, "Glad to hear that you're doing well." How are you doing, Crescent Sunblaze? Hopefully everybody here is doing well as well. Delaney says, looks good. Thank you, Delaney. So I've got that. I think that's an interesting little creature, I think. Got a little bit coming through here. Gujin says, "I doing well." Miz says, "I'm glad I woke up in time for this." That's awesome. Welcome, Miz. Crescent Sunblaze says, "I'm doing just fine, stuck at home, but that's good for doing some extra art and design work." Yeah, I'm still working my normal days, but I think that's going to change this week. But I will mention my upcoming conventions have been canceled, understandably so. So I'm going to do the Let's Make a Monster live stream every Sunday now until those kind of get reinstated or rescheduled. Ree says, "It's a bit crazy here, but I think you could say that everywhere. I'm happy I have a lot of arts and craft supplies." Yeah, I've got plenty of art supplies. I also play video games and read comics, so I've got plenty of those. So if my schedule does change significantly, I've got plenty to do, and I'll probably do a lot more live streams. All right, so I've got his legs kind of smoothed in, and I took the ball tool to kind of just press them in to get them to stay. I'm going to kind of smooth it in a little bit more. Hujin says, "Understandable, Comic-Cons have been canceled." Yeah, I had Grand Comic-Con in Grand Island, Nebraska. It was supposed to be next weekend, and then I had Constellation in Lincoln, Nebraska next month. So far, that's the only things that have been canceled that I'm scheduled for. But I'm kind of just taking a wait-and-see approach with everything else. And I know some of them want to reschedule, but the issue with that is if everything's getting pushed, then they're going to overlap, and I'm hopeful I have some other stuff already planned in the summer, but that could change. So we're going to get some toesies on this guy. I'm kind of see what I did there. And I'm going to go in, because I want to have the green clay dripping off it, I'm going to go in and texture it some and then put the green over it. Kujin says, I was going to go to Seattle Emerald Comic Con to sell artwork, but then it got canned. Yeah, that's one of the first big ones that got canned. Awesome. Tree says, "Oh my God, that's the cutest." Thank you. Hopefully, I don't mess it up. It's the trick about the live streams. I'm got a little more pressure on getting things right without, you know. I don't care if I mess up. I just don't want to mess up to the point where I can't fix it. Rebecca says, I always have such issues with fingerprints on my clay. Do you think the brand makes a difference? I use regular Sculpey 3. A little bit. The fingerprints are noticeable on all my sculptures. Two little tips if you are really bugged by them. You can like sculpt it and then add a texture like with something like this ball tool like this, and that'll get rid of those. When you are done baking it, you can also sand it a little bit and get those out. Or you could take a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol and smooth your clay, and that'll also get like rid of specks and stuff in like white clay. Claire's Crafty Corner says it's such a shame so many events being canceled. We had Makers Central here in May, and they canceled also. Yeah, that's terrible. Hujian says, oof, that's cool. Jessica says, hi, I'm a little late. That's fine. I'm still got a ways to go, Jessica. Oh, yeah, Brandy also says, clay softener. I haven't really done anything with that. Well, that's a lie. I tried using it, and it just made it so slimy, but I haven't tried putting it on to smooth it out. So that's a very good idea. All right, so... Yeah, Rebecca says, thanks, used yellow clay recently, nearly as bad as white. Yes, it is. It's something in the different colors are worse. Like one thing I do, and I've mentioned this before, but for those who don't know, I use pearl a lot as a substitute for white because it doesn't seem to attract those specks as much. And that's something you could try too, Rebecca, is, you know, maybe mixing. I mean, if you don't want to switch colors, but even mixing a different color with it. I don't know if there's a pearl in Sculpey 3, though. All right, we're going to get the little toesies on the third leg here. And what's fun about doing little monsters is there's no right or wrong, but lots of times you want to keep them a little bit grounded in reality, you know. So he's still gonna have legs, he's still gonna have toes and a face, you know. But I think you could even do stuff that wasn't, and it'd make it even more bizarre. So did we decide on doing 3 eyes? Is that what we want to do? I'm gonna clean my hands off just a little bit. Tree says they look like baby feet. Yeah, kinda. That way, if I can get some of this brown off, even though my eyes here are pre-baked, I still don't want to like get the brown on them. So I'm going to pick out 3 eyes to do there. So just grab these 3 here. Tree says yes, 3 everything. Well, I do want to give it a tongue. I don't want to do 3 tongues. Sorry, guys. They're just too big to fit in there, unless you don't want it to have a tongue. Fujin says 1 big and 2 small. So let's get a little bit bigger one. Let's see if we can get away with that. There we go. That one's quite a bit bigger. So I'm just using the ball tool to make my eye socket so I can rest those down in there. And we'll just kind of shape them a little bit. So I'll bring it up to the camera a little bit. So this is where I want, this is where the mouth's going to be. And then I've got my 3 sockets indented for the eyes. Ms. says, I love it so far. Thank you, Ms. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I don't really know how I want to do the dripping yet. So that was a suggestion from Cool Milk, so hopefully Cool Milk shows up today. So bring that up. Take a good look there. All right, so we want to do 3 teeth. 3 teeth. Do we want sharp teeth or kind of, you know, like your front teeth type? Have those or have these little spiky fangs? Bring up kind of different ones I could do with this. Wait for the chat. Claire's Crafty Corner says, love it. Gujin says, Andrew, have you ever tried to create clay creatures to animate with? I haven't. It is like, even when I started my channel over 2 years ago, I wanted to do some claymation. I've done, if you watch my Totoro video, it's been a while, but I do like a little stop motion thing with it, but that's just moving it. I would love to do claymation. Ms. says spiky, so we'll go with spiky. Dree says, by the way, I'm so in love with your Cheshire Cat. You need a felted and clayed last year. It's best. Thank you. I really love my Cheshire Cat too. And I don't, sorry if I sounded cocky there. I'm like, I love it. I'm the greatest. No, I was really happy how it turned out. That's not always the case. So I've got 3 spiky teeth. I'm going to probably trim these down and actually can use them for other stuff, but Hujin says, I would love to make some claymations. Also, yeah, that'd be awesome. Myra says, spiky. So, I think these will work for the 3 spiky ones. We want... All right, Dre says you can be proud about your stuff and not cocky. I know, I just didn't want to come across that way. Claire, you asked what the teeth are made from. All my parts that I have here are all Primo Sculpey. And if you look at my channel, there is a video I did, let's make some monster parts, and I wanted to show people how I did those ahead of time. And I do those so I can pre-bake them, and that way I can just insert them in to the monsters for the Let's Make a Monster live streams. But yeah, they're all Primo Sculpey. And if you see on the tongues, I added a wire in there so I can just stick it in and have it be supported. So, all right, did we want to do 2 on top and 1 on the bottom, or vice versa? Kind of lay these out. I'll wait for the chat. You guys look at him or her. So 2 on the bottom, Kujin. Kujin. I'm probably still saying it wrong. That's so clever. Underbite. 2 on top and 1, 2 down and 1 top. Okay. Bree says, oh, I made monster parts with my son and husband this week during quarantine. Next week, we're going to use each other's parts to make monsters. Awesome. So, I'm going to take... Oh, Claire's saying 3 on the bottom. Now I don't know which one's been said more. I'm going to go ahead and I'll do... Rebecca says cute. Drew says you choose, Andrew. All right, so I'm going to go do the 2. You can see I indented with the ball tool. And I'm going to press that clay around there to kind of grip it so when it bakes, it'll hold it in place. And if you ever, you can use some liquid clay in there. And then Claire says go with Ms. 2 down, 1 top. Okay. But you can also use super glue to fix anything if these don't stick, but they should be okay. I wanted to put a tongue in here, and I don't know if this is going to work. So I'm going to push this in. Push this bottom one in a little bit farther. Ah! Drew says tongue to the side. Yeah, I'm going to try that. I kind of, when I sculpted them, they're kind of meant to be straight in, but I think I might be able to work with them a little bit. So I've got the teeth. Now, I'll work on, I think, this little tongue. Let's see. A bigger tongue or a little tongue? All right, should we go with a bigger tongue or a littler tongue? Chris at Someplace says, I think this little guy looks like he nibbles fingers for a living, and I love it. Jessica says little tongue. All right, go ahead, this little tongue. So what I'm going to do is, because I've got a wire there, I'm going to make a spot for the wire to go in. So I'm going to use my needle tool because that'll make the entrance point for that a little bit easier. So I'm just taking that and I'm rounding out a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this ball tool. I'm going to smush the mouth in to make it a little bit deeper, and that'll make it a little bit easier for me to turn that tongue to the side. I hope. Look at there. He's like, bleh. And it doesn't look like I can see my wire coming through. I wanted to make sure that was covered. He says it looks like he lost his binky. Oh. Hujin says super cute. Thank you. So now I want to see about making him drippy, but I'm thinking I want to add some texture. Should I add some texture to him, or should I just add the green clay dripping off of him? Claire's Crafty Corner says, ah, love. Thank you. Just add the green, no texture. Clean my hands up a little bit more just to make sure they're... Ms. says some texture is always nice. Tree says maybe texture the green after. I think, though, what I'm going to do, let's see here, is I'm going to go in and just add a little bit of texture in the mouth. I'm going to separate that from the rest of the body. once I get this kind of textured, go ahead and start adding the green. So here's my green mixture. Did soften this up earlier, but I'm going to just mix it a little bit more. I'm really not for sure how I want to do this. So I'm just going to get it soft. So now one of the things I did, kind of moving away here for a second, is in my Halloween videos I made this slime monster. And I had him very drippy, but I used green as the base and then just stripped some others. So I could do a bunch of like slime drops like this on him, or I could do it like sections that look like they're kind of dripping. Like, I'll show you. Don't know if I'm explaining that very well, but I could do Dree says first, but I'm not for sure what you're referring to. I'm sorry. Says I always forget that. Delaney says sections. He says section. So like this is what I'm talking about, like section. So it's like a splotch, you know, like it kind of splotches on it. And then I could do some others dripping off too. Oh, like the big monster that's more splattery. Okay. Oh, Kujin says, how about 3 spikes? Should I do some spikes on it first? Claire's Crafty Corner says, what about blobs? Like animated blobby puddles? Like he has been splashed with green slime? Yeah, so I could kind of have these dripping on him. But before I do that, if I want to do some spikes on it, let's see what I've got. I don't know if I have 3 of the same in here, if I could use some of the ones. I could use I can use my sharp teeth for spikes too. And I'll probably try to get some more of these made in some different colors. So there's some that are similar. And 3, of course. All right, so let's go ahead and we're one of these down the back. Is that? Let me look at my chat. So I've got 3 little indentions there. And I will add the 3 little spikes. I don't know if I have any more that are twisted. These 2 are twisted, but I suppose that's okay if they're different. It's a little monster. All right. Like, bleh. He says his last spike hasn't changed yet. Yeah, he's still growing. I feel like this guy's like, he auditioned for Monsters Inc. and got rejected. Now he's just all sad. He says it's his untwisted baby spike still. Yeah, poor baby spike. All right, so we've got that. We got these splatches, or one splotch. So I'm going to try to work that in. I think I'm going to do some smaller ones first over the legs. these. I'll kind of get these section shaped. Crescent Sunblaze says there's something so satisfying about watching people sculptor draw. Thank you. I agree, because like there's a YouTuber called Box Office Artist. If you guys have not seen his work, check it out, especially if you like things from pop culture. And he does a lot of different, a lot of them are time lapse, but that's still a lot of fun too. But he's done some incredible things, and I love watching him do his stuff. And there's, a lot of other YouTubers I follow too. That's just one that comes to mind. Kujin says amazing work. Thank you. I think he's got a lot of personality, and I have you guys to thank for that. I think the important thing is, like, I have a lot of fun doing this, so hopefully, that comes through and you guys are having a lot of fun contributing. So I'm going to get a bunch of splotches. All right. Kujin says, have you checked out Cross Pop Studios? Is that a YouTube channel? Got one little splotch, so maybe like each leg has a splotch or a splatter. He did coloring of box artwork. Let me try to find a pin. Write it down. I have not seen it. So if I can find something to write on here. It's Cross Pop Studios. I will definitely check that out. Claire says that's the word I was looking for earlier, viewer contribution. Yes. It's a lot of fun. Andrew says this monster indeed was a Monster Inc. reject. He was deemed too young and had a temper tantrum on his way out of the audition and threw his mushy peas around. Yeah. It's like, what? I don't want to cover up too much here, but this splotch is big. Kuja says not so tolerable threes. Alright, so got the big old splotch on that side. It says the idea is most sweet and totally plausible, yes. Not every monster had, made it for that show. Alright, so I've got another, I'm going to make another, oh, I think I've got my brown here. Had some extra colors there. We'll get some green. Paying too much attention to the chat, not paying attention to my little monster. It's going to just make him more upset. Jessica says looks like someone sneezed on him. I'd like to do some, more diorama pieces, and that would be fun for something like this, and then have a bigger monster like Slime Monster that just sneezed. I also have this unfinished dream of doing like a children's book, but instead of having it illustrated, do sculptures for all the pictures. And maybe if my, regular job slows down quite a bit, maybe that's what I'll work on, is the sculptures for that. So I'm going to have this one kind of dripping over this first big one here. Tree says, I would love that. Diorama, yes, thank you. And then I think I'm going to do, bring him up. Oh no, the back spike fell. We'll get that in there. Jessica says, the book sounds awesome. Thank you. Hopefully I can make it happen sometime. So there's a look at it. I'm going to have some more dripping. Dree says that sounds cool too. The book. Claire's Crafty Corner says that does sound amazing. Thank you. Of course, I'll probably do monsters, but that's nothing. There's a lot of children's books that have monsters and they work. So Gujin says sorry, but it was a Pop Cross Studios whom did the coloring of drawing of box office artist. Oh, okay. Pop Cross. Make a little note of that. Claire says, so even like a children's book feature, learning colors, a different colored cute monster on each page. Oh, I love that idea. Rebecca says you should put a little Pearl X powders on the mossy bits. Yeah, I might just gloss them. I don't know. I've got some different chalk and stuff, but I don't know if I have any like the Pearl X powders. I think I'm going to have this drip in between the eyes, so I'm going to bring this splotch back and have it look like it's leaking out of there. Definitely think it's going to need some gloss coat on it. Hujin says, looking great on the wee three-eyed monster. Thank you. So I'm just going to soften up a couple more pieces and roll out and have some drippy bits. So for me, when I do stuff dripping off of a monster, you want to think of how gravity works and how lots of times it's going to have a bigger chunk of it towards the bottom and then it's going to slowly pull away. So just think of how things drip naturally, especially like things that are like slime. This is a little bit longer piece than I want. Andrew says gloss will make it extra slimy. And then slimy. Yeah, I'm not for sure on the spelling of that. I will never correct people's spelling because I'm an awful speller. So any form of spelling is welcome here. He's starting to get like this dog look. Bring him up to take a look. All right. Yeah, that back spike, I'm probably going to have to glue that in place or get some liquid Sculpey put in there. And I'm going to have a little bit of this dripping out of the mouth. He probably swallowed some. I mean, you know he would. He probably rolled around it, ate it, and then spit some up. It was like, Tree says the cuteness. Thank you. I don't want these to be too big, though, that I don't have dripping out of the mouth. Miz says, I see a cute dog with a green, whatever you call the thing on the executioner's heads. Oh, like the hood? I just want this. I'm going to kind of put it in place there, bring it around. Henry says it's just ready to change that third spike. Yes, that's why it's being so troublesome. It'll be fine once it's done. Let's see. And I want to put some more drippy bits. And then I think this little guy will be about done, and I'll bake it. After it's baked, like I said, I'll add a gloss coat to it. Tomorrow sometime, I don't have a set time, I will do just a quick live stream showing you like a quick look at what it looks like finished. But if you can't tune in live, that will be on my channel, forever, as long as I have a channel. But it's just easier to do that way, and that way everybody can see how it looks finished. Let's get a few more done here. And I think this guy will, like I said, I can't think of anything else it's going to need, and I don't want to ruin anything I've done on it. Does anybody have any input on anything else it needs? Dree says, well, English is like my third language, so why am I even commenting on it? Dree, it's my first and only language, and I can't get it right, so you are doing awesome. Yes, it needs a name. Last time we didn't get a name, and then Brandy had messaged me and came up with Clover for the last one, so we should get a name before this one's over. Let me get a few more slime bits on there, and then I'll bring it up to the camera so you guys can come up with something. Delaney says Miles. Ujin says Trislamus Molemias. Dree says, could you do a big slime blob where there is no leg? Miz says, I'm from Sweden, and English is my second language, German is my third. Brandy asks how the Brontosaurus turned out. Dree says, I like the little slime puddle. Delaney says, Trigolis. Kind of like that one, too. Brandy says, Miles is cute. Like a slime puddle back here. That. Sorry, I'm. Then there's trials. Going back to the chat. Trying to find. Oh, he says a big slime blob. Okay, so big slime blob, but there is no thing. I'm assuming back here. So, let's see. Claire's Crafty Corner says, Grumly, cute name. Dree says, Trialton, Tremley. Claire's Crafty Corner says, all that sounds gremlin. Yes, back there. Okay, so I'm going to work on the blob thing. On the back. Maybe lot of it dripped off. And I'm sure I'm butchering the name of most of those. I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation of most of those names. Do we like Miles? I mean, it doesn't have the try in it, but I like Miles. He looks like a Miles, doesn't he? Dree says it's just to give it some visual balance. Yeah, no, I like it. I like doing that back here. All right, so Miles. I'm going to write that down. That's my other note here. So tomorrow there'll be a quick look video on Miles. All right. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. And this one's, it's hard for me to show you this part because I don't want to mess anything up by bringing it up to the camera. So I want to tuck this slime underneath, or this blobbish. I'll bring that over on top of it. And then I'm going to take a ball tool. That one's a little bit small. And I want to kind of give it a ripply effect. Maybe give it some sense of motion as it's coming out. Like it's dripping off him. All right. I think while I'm at it, I think I'm going to make some little kind of splatters, or like pools, I should say pools, like, so I can bake these and have them kind of laying around it like he's, I mean, it's just coming off him everywhere. And so what I'm doing on these is I'm just kind of having a roundy shape, and then I'm just going to take the ball tool and kind of texture it a little bit, give it a ripply effect. And these aren't necessarily in placement with where I'll put them when I display him. Just kind of works to go with it. Claire's Crafty Corner says, I love this. Oh, I love this. Thanks so much. My first clay video and super fun with the interactions. Miles is gorgeous. I must head off and grab dinner. Enjoy. Can't wait to see cooked Miles. Thank you, Claire's Crafty Corner. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you, everybody else, for tuning in to today's live stream. Dree says, oh, cool puddle idea. Thank you. I did that with my witch's cauldron for my Halloween videos. Had like some dripping down. Miss says, I'm trying to get a visual of an upset monster trying to hide a bowl of overly mushy peas and then trying to keep his dignity and not licking himself clean. Yes. And Brandy asked earlier about the Brontosaurus I did that on a live stream. I will be doing another live stream this week that's Andrew's art. So some recent things I've made in different live streams and not streamed, just to kind of show how those look finished. So those will be shown on that video. Hujin says, got to run a little wee bit, have an animation that I need to finish up for my channel. It was a lot of fun hanging out and the interaction with all of you, seeing you work, Andrew. Thank you. Yes. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Good luck with your animation. I would love to try some. Crescent Assembly says he turned out adorable. Thanks for another wonderful stream, Andrew. Always lovely to see you work. Thank you so much. All right, so there's some puddles. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's live stream. Hope everybody stays safe out there. And if you're ever bored, I've got plenty of videos to watch on my channel. So thanks for watching, and remember, never stop creating. Bye!